shout. Come along with me, we're tripping out. Now listen, girls, and listen, boys. These little things, they ain't no toys. They are for real, know what I mean. They make you holler, they make you shout. Come on, baby, we'll trip on out.
Well, well, well. What have we here? Hope you guys haven't been wait. I didn't even know we were live. I just happened to see you in the waiting room. Oh, what is going on, General C Monkey? What is going on, Jacob Murphy versus Angels Baron Womb? Get over. Oh, right on, man. Oh, who else? What's going on, Junie? What's up, Cole? Oh, hello, Miss General C Monkey again. Haven't had the chance to review the details, but you have received vital information. All information is vital at one point or another. Finished watching Havoc. I don't even know what that is. What is up, Section 15? Spokesman. Hey, what's up, Nick? The Grand Islander. Oh, no. Bill don't spurg, baby. Sea monkeys don't spurg. I hold it in. I hold it in, and I stuff it down, and I stuff it down, and I crush it, and I compact it. And then one day, boom, it'll all come out at once. What's up, Corey? Yeah, we're a little bit early for me. I just decided to do it now because I'm not doing. I'm still in my fucking pajamas. I didn't even bother getting dressed today. What's up, Susan? What's up, Lisa? What's up, Crystal? What's up, Sam and Clinton? By the way, the link is pinned if anybody wants to hop up here. I do have some stuff to bitch about, though. Let's see. I hope I didn't miss. If I missed you, what's up, Rob? Don't want to miss Rob. My agitation, we'll call it, started last night. Jonathan, you watched the short that I posted late last night. You already know what I'm talking about. We were almost rid of him a while back. And the only reason it didn't happen completely, I mean, he's gone from this channel. Actually, no, he's probably not actually banned from this one because he hasn't been here. But if he pops his little rabbit head up, he will be. What's up, NTF? I have a bad memory, but there's some things that I just don't forget. And the only reason Jonathan's still around is because when Ray was trying to cancel him, people used it as a way to push back at Ray. Otherwise, he'd be gone. Hey, what's up, Dusty? I'll tell little fucker you said hello. But that's it. Otherwise, he'd be gone. Now, regardless of how you feel about Ray, and I've got my misgivings with him, what Jonathan did to him was pretty fucking rotten. And it's not like it's a one-time thing. I I stepped into a well, okay, let me start by what agitated me last night. I didn't want to start any shit on that channel because they don't want any arguing in their chat, and I respect that. Now, when I go into a live, if Jonathan's on the panel, I leave. If I'm sitting there in the chat bullshitting or whatever, I see Jonathan go up, I leave, and I found out by people's comments on the short that I posted last night, and by the messages I got today, I'm not alone in that. I see him in the chat. Sometimes I leave. I just can't stand the motherfucker. And rather than starting a bunch of shit, I just left out of respect for that person's chat. But we seem to forget like all the shit that he's done. I happened into a live, I don't know, a few days ago, and he was saying, "Oh, the other side made up all that stuff about the kids at the border." No, I don't remember exactly how that got discovered, but I remember him defending it, like talking about handing out business cards for some nonprofit bullshit that he wore, and I think none of that was true. We've, I just don't believe anything he says. Like he defended it. Like, what business do you have talking to anybody's kids? And there's just been a lot of shit. And he was trying to say, "Oh, Bill's just mad at me because of something that happened 2 years ago." And like, it's not really a grudge. I just don't like the motherfucker, and he's done too much shit. If you need a refresher, um, Jonathan came up on my panel, and everybody knows how I feel about Kevin, right? Jonathan came up on my panel and said that Kevin raped another man in jail. And right away, what is wrong? Every time I go live now, my voice gets like this. I don't get it. Probably yelled too loud at the cows today, but anyway, I think Jonathan thought that I would let that fly because I don't like Kevin. I took the stream down, and when I questioned Jonathan about it, I said, "Do you have any proof?" And he gave this whole big, like, he even gave me somebody's name. He named a name, and he had all this bullshit about this proof that he had. And he eventually admitted, like after a couple of months, or I don't know how long, he eventually admitted that it wasn't true. So if he's capable of making up something like that to put on somebody, he's capable of anything. He's capable of lying about anything. And like there's been so much shit that evidently there was something about him doing some weirdness with Snapchat. Somebody in the comment section on my short mentioned that. I don't know. Maybe I just forgot what. Hey, what's up, JM? I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, he said he was volunteering for a pro. He changed his story a few times, but what I heard him say the other night was that the other side completely made it up. Well, no, it wasn't completely made up. There was something to it. I don't know, Carmen. That's my question. I mean, I get it sometimes. sometimes when you're talking on your panel by yourself and you just don't really want to. I know Jonathan likes to volunteer for that, and I get it. I mean, I don't let him up here, but I understand that. I guess my biggest issue with it is when we say they've got all the weirdos over there, but we got fucking Jonathan over here, and I can't jive with that. There's just been too much stuff, and this isn't a dig on anybody but him. It has. There's been a lot of stuff, just a lot of it. Not to mention, he just plain gives me the creeps. I mean, just I don't know the way he talks or whatever, but that's a me thing. That's not an all you thing. And I don't remember there was some weirdness with a laptop at one point. I don't remember the details on that, but I don't know. I don't. Again, like he was almost gone. I think he actually was banned from a couple of channels that unbanned him just to piss Ray off. Which, hey, I can kind of respect. I do things just to piss people off all the time when there's really, maybe not much sense in it. I get it. And I don't even remember exactly what it was. I don't remember the details of what he did to Ray, but um, there's just been too much. There's too much sus shit about him. If anybody wants to disagree with me or whatever, you're welcome to come up and say your piece. I can't tell anybody how to run their channels. I'm just saying how I feel. And judging from the comments people left on my short from last night, and from the uh, private comments I've been getting, a whole lot of people agree with me. I mean, I'm not there because when he comes in, when he goes up on a panel, I believe pretty much instantly. So I don't see the number, when the numbers drop. But I guess um, it does. And I'm told sometimes when he comes in, starts talking in a chat, it just kind of dies. But I can't. Like I said, I usually leave when he shows up into the chat, so I'm not there to see that myself. Your comments still. Oh, there it goes. You're supposed to give you a laptop. Got your address and never came. Yeah, that was the weird shit. Yeah, thank you. I knew there was something. I just couldn't remember what it was. I mean, it's just shit like that. And what else? God dang it. Somebody told me something else that I didn't know anything about. Something about him asking for somebody's kids' pictures. I don't remember that. Yeah, apparently he was trying to get somebody to send him pictures of their kids. I don't remember that story. Maybe I never knew it. Have no clue if he's actually done anything he spoke on, but he creeps you out. How he goes with the flow of what others say in his defense, as opposed to him coming with his own reasoning. Yeah. Rob out here handing out lap dances didn't offer me one. let's see, perhaps with kids as mentors, your memory is as bad. Don't quote you. He changed his story a bunch of times, but that motherfucker doesn't belong mentoring kids. Oh God, tequila makes me naked. We're all a little stupid sometimes. I think people are worried that they'll get canceled hating on a gay person. I don't care that he's gay. That I could care less that he's gay. I judge people on their actions. I don't, and I'm not afraid of. I mean, you're totally right. Um, people are afraid to go at certain lifestyles, but I'm not. I don't care if somebody's gay. It's their own personal actions or what I go by. But with everything, he fucking it still fucking it does irritate me. He came up here, accused another man of raping another man in jail, and when asked for the proof, he just spouted off all this bullshit. He even had a name, and I think he was going to try to get that the person that he named. We found out was a real person. And I think that he was going to try to get that guy to come up and say that that happened. So I mean, if he's capable of making up that kind of lie and maintaining it and just spouting off bullshit as if, I mean, I could tell he was lying. Um, but he's duped a lot of people. If he's capable of making up that kind of shit, along with everything else, I don't know. I don't understand how you could associate with him because I promise he's lying to you about something, if not everything. Well, I want to hear more about your tequila date. Weed Whacker, your comment has a tag over it. I'll wait till it moves up to be able to read it. Sabby says that that doesn't happen, but there's a screenshot right there. Oh man, I forgot to post that last one. How many times has NTF and Anya called men the faggots? Oh, I call men faggots all the time. It's not because they're gay, it's because they're faggots. You got straight faggots and you got gay faggots. I don't like Kevin either. There was a female up here that accused him of sexual assault. I caught Kevin in a lot of lies too prior to that, which is what led up to it. But when Jonathan coming up here and just making shit up that Kevin raped another guy in jail, nah, that shit don't fly. And I think that he thought that I would just let it go because of my issues with Kevin. I ended up deleting it like a 6-hour stream or privating it. I don't remember. The channel's gone, so I don't remember if I just privated it or deleted it. But anyway, I took it down. What's going on, Matt? I'm just rehashing the Jonathan thing and reminding people that the only reason Jonathan's still around. Like we almost had him gone, but people used it as a way to push back at Ray because Ray was really trying to cancel him. I was actually on Ray's side on that one. Have I said anything that's not true? I mean, I realize not everybody has seen every single thing that's happened, but I mean, this is just the shit I remember, and I got a horrible memory, so I'm sure that I'm leaving a lot of stuff out. Oh, by the way, Mr. Sitchell, I haven't forgot about you. You really should hit me up. You're, yeah, I'm not hard to find. We'll get. I'm not saying too much about that right now. Smoke break. Yeah, I smoke like a freight train while I'm high. And like this, the stuff with Meow, I don't know. I don't know how much of that stuff was true. I don't think I ever saw like when Meow said that he decoyed Jonathan. I never saw any proof. I don't think so. I don't even know if that's true. But what's up, Gil? That's another thing. Where you reminded me of something is how often have you seen Jonathan in a catch chat? How often have you seen him in one of those? I don't think I ever have. And that's something else is he tried to have Alex's channel taken down. Like way back years ago, he tried to have Alex's channel taken down. He pulled a bunch of other bullshit on Alex too. I don't remember all the details of that either, but if we want to keep claiming we're about pred catching and we want to keep claiming that we are about the pred catching community. Now, back in the day, and I hate saying that, but back in the day, we wouldn't have tolerated somebody like him. They'd have been gone. You heard Meow, Meow didn't age drop. Well, if he didn't age drop, then there's no case. All right. We have an esteemed regular guest, Mr. Sam Clinton.
Hey, Bill. Hope you're well. Glad, good to see you live. We hardly get any lives anymore with you.
Yeah, you know how it is when you get famous. You just don't have time for the little people anymore.
That's right. That's clear. You clearly don't have time for us, but you can always run a good cocaine dono stream and get people riled up if you
That's
want.
not a bad idea.
I don't have much time, but I was thinking about this too. I recently had a conversation with Jonathan, and then I was listening to some old streams, and I, I, not understanding or realizing that him being a prominent member of the gay community and acting the way that he did, which is, just to go back through his and for me, like when you listen to he was when Christy was being called a sex trafficker, when Christy was being called kidnapping children, uh, you look at what Jonathan did in that context, and some would say, and I sort of gave him some benefit when I understand that he created that lie about Kevin, right? But it was in the context of Christy being called not just raping people, but Christy being called a sex trafficker. And, I have probably a long memory, maybe not as long as some people, but I do have a good memory. And, Christy was being called a number of things. A fake, false video came out showing her earrings and that they
I
were
remember
somehow
that. Yeah,
related to the female version of Nambla, and then created a bunch of edit graping of her words to make her seem as though she was a creep and a predator and a trafficker and all of this stuff. And, and
yeah.
and Kevin was prominently a part of that, and a number of people were prominently a part of it. Many people were observers. Many people were cheering it on. Many people just
Hmm.
silently watched. I do remember that Jonathan didn't silently watch, right? He actually went up there, and in his version of why he created the lie about Kevin was to distract from, deflect from, assist Christie from being called all of the ridiculously false and BS stuff. But then you look at it, then you actually look at the longer. And so I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Didn't say that that's right or okay for him to do that. It's not. It's not okay. Um, People are allowed to falsely accuse you of anything around here, and you've got to maintain your discipline if you want to have any type of, principles or credibility, right? Unlike Ryan, who is calling people pedophiles every day now, when he was claiming to be the most principled among us. So that is
Yeah.
that's the context that I remember it. But then I look back on it and look, well, what did he actually do? He didn't just do it for that one stream, right? He maintained the allegation over months. So if you buy
Right.
him at his word, which I did, that wow, he actually was doing something to defend, deflect for Christie, but then you kind of peel back the onion and you say, well, you didn't just do it in that one stream and then a couple days later, a week later, say you made it all up to protect Christie and you're sorry and moving on. You extended it for many months, and then you went after the one person. You created the one lie. You didn't create a lie about Cap. You didn't create a lie about anybody else that was doing part of that narrative. You actually just created a targeted lie about one catcher that you seemingly had a beef with and had previously thought to been homophobic or whatever. So you targeted him, and then the lie that you created about him was not him raping a woman, but to be even more, in your version, I guess, for Jonathan to be even more homophobic himself. He created a lie about Kevin raping a man, and one could say that that in and of itself is homophobic because Jonathan was utilizing the stigma of, you know, men who have sex with men and et cetera, to demean Kevin further by creating a lie about him having sex or raping a man. And so Then you look at, he had a problem with his catching style and or him catching gay men or catching men on Grindr. And then you put it all together and it's like his entire narrative that I sort of gave him the benefit of the doubt for, even though it wasn't right, even though I didn't really, I would never condone creating a lie about something of someone sexually assaulting. I can see how getting wrapped up in the moment to help Christy out under the circumstances, which I remember well, and that all of these people creating a complete and utter lie about Christy and saying the most horrific things about her, he decided to create a lie about one person in particular. And so I really drilled that down. And it's like, huh. And then if you're willing to lie about something such as that, I've got concerns too about your ability to tell the truth in the long run, right? Because one of the risks you have is that if, okay, you did that for someone, but I didn't really see it as the months dragged on and you continued to lie, then you doxed somebody or made somebody's name up, and then you tied in the gay aspect of it, right? Of accusing Kevin not raping a woman, which is obviously bad, but raping a man, which would even be more hurtful in your eyes, Jonathan. Which, why would that be more hurtful? Why did you create the narrative that he was raping a man? Is my question. Uh, Presumably Kevin is a heterosexual man, by all accounts. Why would it be your first thought process to create a lie that he raped a man? Well, did you try to basically smear him with a attraction to men tag? Wouldn't that in of itself be homophobic, Jonathan? That you run around here claiming everyone is homophobic, but you seemingly do something that I would consider to be taking advantage of people's biases. So, and then you look at the border thing and the border issue. Our border is so porous, and there is a lot of people that take advantage of, really bad people that take advantage of destitute and desperate children and families. And we know that
Yeah.
a lot of institutions, CYS, and I'm doing a video right now actually on the settlement that happened in Los Angeles, where a number of adoption clinics and youth services and detention facilities are infested with predators over many decades. And all of the system structures that people have so much confidence in over the many decades are one of the biggest purveyors of predators and harming of children. And then you look at the power that people have when you have at your fingertip and your disposal. We have a lot of people that leave this country and go to destitute parts of the world and play hero, play daddy, play predator for destitute children and families. And they're able to indulge their predatory and pedophilic behaviors abroad. Well, with the border crisis, they are able to take their financial support, their physical support, their emotional support, their whatever, and just jaunt down to the border and encounter thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of desperate and destitute people. And that's the problem. You're giving a ton of power to human traffickers and sex traffickers. And then for those of us that say that, no, I don't want to give power to human traffickers, I don't want to give power to the drug traffickers and the sex traffickers and those that would seek to harm desperate and destitute people, and I want a secure border, then you're labeled as some sort of not caring or having a heart. No, it's the exact opposite. I don't want to give power to creepy people to take advantage of the situation, the crisis created by corrupt governments around the world, and essentially by us allowing millions and millions of immigrants into this country. We're giving not only a pass, but we're actually allowing for corrupt regimes to exist in other countries because everybody has an escape plan, right? The escape plan is, I'm not going to sit and fight against a corrupt government in Venezuela and Colombia. I'm not going to fight against the narco traffickers in my own country like here in the United States, we had our George Washington. We fought against the bloody Brits. Um, and so I put that all together, and it's like I did get to talk to Jonathan on panel the other day, and he has this position that you know uh, it's okay that we're because there's a humanitarian crisis. The United States is here to solve it, and people who have a good heart. But I don't see many people that have a good heart. Bill, call me a cynic. Um, I question everybody's motives, and I question people that want to do foster families. I question people that now it's great. Look, there's a lot of kids that need foster families. There's a lot of kids that needs adoptions for sure. But that doesn't mean that someone going and allegedly helping and offering their abilities is going to mean that they've got good intentions. In fact, history has proven that a lot of them don't have good intentions. And then you put that together where Jonathan basically said that communicating with children online or communicating with kids online is okay, if you're not getting sexual with them. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see many instances where that would be appropriate, even if you're not getting sexual with them, because you really, unless you're a coach and you have structure and boundaries. I was coach for a long time. I was a soccer coach, and there are structures and boundaries that need to be adhered to when you are in a position when you're dealing with other people's children. There's boundaries that you put in place. There's organization that you put in place. There's structures that you put in
Yeah.
place, and you're not just communicating with somebody online, even if it's not any type of you're playing a role in a kid's life. And what is your motive in playing a role in kid's life? And call me a cynic, call me a a skeptic. um, I don't know how many adults I see that are involved in other people's and children's lives without some type of ulterior motive, even if it's not maybe predatory in one aspect. I just I have I have concerns about it, you know, and
Yeah.
you dial all that up, and it's like nothing that I said here is picking on Jonathan because of his sexuality. It's all his own behavior and his actions. And so for him to then go to the baseline thing of rather than rethinking his entire presentation of who he is and thinking a lot of things that he has said and done has concerned people, rather than him being self-reflective and introspective about his own behaviors, if they're all innocent, right? If they're all innocent, as he says they are, and he is a good person, volunteers, helps kids, and was helping Christy out. If all of his intentions were so good, then you really need to look at your own behavior to say, well, what could I have done differently so that people didn't think I was such a scumbag or so suspicious? And if indeed what he is saying is all good motives. So uh, that's sort of like where I think some people in this community, including him, is a perfect example of someone who has the inability to look at himself and say, what did I do and say? And so what do they do? To avoid all of that, it's just, oh, they're homophobic. They hate gay people. Or this person hates gay
Right.
people, you know?
Yeah.
And that takes all the pressure off of you being self-reflective.
Yeah. And that's another one of my problems with Jonathan is, like you said, he defended that for months and he had this big, long line of bullshit. Gave us a name, which that name turned out to be a real person. Um, and I think that Jonathan was either going to pay the guy or I don't know. I think Jonathan's plan was to get that guy up on a panel and have him say, yes, this happened. Um, and it's just, he's been caught in lie after lie after lie. And he has excuses and he will ride this shit out forever until he's cornered. And it's just
Yeah,
when somebody has been caught doing that so many times, how can you believe anything the guy says ever?
correct. And exactly. And this is not um, because, you're gay, Jonathan. It's because of the things that you've said and done
No.
has probably been more detrimental to, and this is the other thing, like, I mean, if you're the LGBT community, do you really want Jonathan put on a panel to say, yeah, this guy represents us. This guy represents me. This guy represents you. I mean, if you're gay, I mean, no, not at all. And, I think that maybe some things started out, some people, okay, he's gay and this and that, but it's over time, his behavior really, and the things that he said and the things that he has done that brings question into his character and who he is. That's all. I have never called him a predator. I have never made an allegation about anything of him personally. I think that the things that he has said and the things that he has done are pretty concerning if you are looking at everything holistically. And yeah, I mean, and hey, if you, and I do like, hey, if you have people got all upset with me wanting to catch women predators, right? That's my thing, catching women predators. I'd love to see people go out and catch women predators. I've tried. It's hard. They're there. They're just not a lot of them online. And, I think that I didn't like, Jonathan may have had problems with people being caught on Grindr or gays being caught. He alleges that he wasn't upset about that. It's pretty clear that he did have some animosity towards, and just
Yeah.
be honest, just be honest, like people are honest with me. People had a problem. People got real pinchy when I went and said, hey, let's catch some women predators. They were straightforward. Hey, and no one said, like, we don't want you to catch a predator, but we had really an issue with you directing your wanting to catch predators towards females. It seems like catching gay men does not have that necessarily same. Jonathan seems to have that little bit of animus, and he should just be honest about it and explain what his concerns are, rather than trying to beat around. I mean, I think that, hey, we all should be open to listening to what people have to say in time. And if he has a problem with gays being targeted, like people had problems with me targeting women, express it. Tell us what's business. Don't hide it and shield it and deflect from it and create this convoluted story with
Well,
Alex.
he tried to have Alex's channel shut down.
I
There
know, but
was a whole big thing because Alex was using.
he denies that particular tidbit, right? And I don't know what the full circumstances is. It's pretty clear that Alex didn't view Jonathan as a supporter. Okay, it's pretty clear that, and it's pretty clear that Alex has done and said some pretty homophobic things, right? I mean, that's kind of Alex's shtick.
Well, yeah.
So I can't, I can't see that Jonathan would come out of that equation saying, I'm fully support Alex. And yeah, I mean, it seems to make sense that you would, because of the things that you have problems with for whatever your reasons
There's a
are, which
difference
there are.
between not supporting somebody and disagreeing with them, as in trying to have their fucking channel shut down.
True. Yeah.
And like
Absolutely.
when it comes to Grinder, if you're gonna go fishing, are you gonna go fishing in the pond where there's a lot of fish to easily catch, or are you gonna go in the one where the biting's not so good? Like you're pretty much almost always guaranteed to catch something off a Grinder. And
Well,
I think
and
that's the
that's,
real reason people use Grindr so much. It's not because they're gay, it's because it's easier to catch people there.
well, and it's easier if you're a man to decoy as a boy, right? And I think that, and this is where the self-reflection comes in. Not immediately say to yourself, oh my God, you're picking on gay people only by targeting people on Grindr because they're gay. Why are there so many people on that app, right, that are already willing? If the people on Grindr were as hard of a catch as female preds are online, I don't think that the catchers would be using the app or used to use the app as much as they did. The fact of the matter is you pretty much had a reliable source for people that were ready, willing, and able to agree to meeting up with a child. So self-reflection in your own community, right? Why are people on Grindr more willing, more able, more ready to meet up? Why are catchers finding so much success with that application? And a lot of people on Grindr may not even be gay. They're different things. You know, a lot of DL men are on there. So you know, it's not just necessarily a gay thing either. I mean, there's women on there, trans, all sorts of people. If you've ever decoyed on Grindr, so
No, I've never decoyed on Grinder. Kick was my main decoy place, and I think I only ran into one female predator, but the thing, and it was right as AZ quit catching, so we didn't get her, but um, it wasn't really so much her as it was her boyfriend, who was much older than her, was kind of pressuring her into finding a young girl. And when he wasn't right over her shoulder, she's like, I don't really want to do this. But when he was there, she's like, oh, let's meet up. And I really wanted to catch them bad, but uh, AZ quit, and it just didn't happen. Um,
yeah.
but it wasn't really even really
I
her.
would have
But
loved you to catch her too. Yeah,
yeah.
that was
Oh,
sort of like
believe me, like
Daphne.
everybody wants to catch a female pred. It's you know, in the little, you know, the decoy chats I was in, that got talked about fairly often. You know, it was like everybody wanted to catch a female. It just it's just harder to do.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, first of all, yeah, I mean, we go through all of that, but women in general don't use apps for random meetups for sex. And first of all, second of all, they have access to children if they're predators anyway without apps, right? Society gives them that position of authority,
Yeah,
position of trust by default. So, and women, female predators, like to build a um, grooming process is different, right? You have someone meet up on Grindr, and it could take 20 minutes that a man without grooming, a predator without grooming, and a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, 13-year-old, all right, there's no grooming. It's just boom, let's meet up, willing. Women are more, female predators are more knowing their victim. Where do they play football? Do they play basketball? Are they in some sort of clubs? Women are profiling their victims a lot stronger, I would say, from the reports that I have read too many of, that they do a very good job at who are their friends' networks, right? Who are their girlfriends were in the past. You know, or creating some sort of real connection to the grooming process is different. And I would say that female predators are very good groomers, and uh, you know, and the protective measure. I mean, a lot of them have husbands. They've got to know
yeah,
their victim very well, because they don't want this to. They've got to be able to control the victim from speaking out. They've got to be able, and this is for all predators, but particularly a lot of female predators have relationships. And so anyway, we're going off topic on that. All I'm saying is that, um, you know, I think that if you look at Jonathan's whole career here, there is reason for people to be very, um, very that a lot of the things that he says and does are damaging for him if he is truly in it for the right reasons, and he is a generous guy and a caring guy that's only trying to look out for him. And like I said, never called the guy a predator. I was in some cases defending him with the Christie thing and his defense of Christie. I saw him over time defend people that were under assault, but he did it in a way that, in retrospect, I now see maybe there was more agenda related to it. Again, okay, you did it to deflect for Christie. You didn't accuse Cap of it. You accused Kevin of it, a catcher who you previously thought was very homophobic and you had problems with, and you accused him of raping a man over a number of months. agenda related to, even if I thought that, and I was inclined to think, yeah, he had the right motives, poor to do that, lie about sexual assault, ridiculous. But then over time you look at it and say, no, it seems like there was more to the story there, a lot more. And it
Yeah,
seemed like he had a
I think
personal
that was just
animus.
another. I think that was just another one of his bullshit excuses to not look like such a sleazy human being.
But I mean, for people to not realize that the border is a, a just a hotbed of uh, a lot of very desperate people, and I question anybody's motives that doesn't want a secure border, that people should be helped in their country, not brought here under desperate circumstances where you can potentially house them, you could potentially feed them, and you could potentially make them dependent
Groom
on you,
them.
and you
Yeah.
can make them comfortable, and you can give them all sorts of a cell phone, you can provide for them. And I believe it's no secret that a lot of people that have come to this country under desperate circumstances, it's like delivered to your doorstep to the people that want to engage in predatory behavior. They don't even need to go to South America now, or Central America, or to Asia, or wherever else parts of the world where this is rampant. Having them delivered. And again, that's to say absolutely nothing about Jonathan specifically. That is saying in general, um, and then to have anyway, the very, very, very odd. But the other thing I wanted to say too is, lastly, I got to run, Bill. But sorry to talk your head off and then dip out. But I usually, yeah, I'm staying with my
I'm
character.
used to it.
I'm staying with my character. Suck up your whole panel, then leave. But anyway, the good guy. You've been pretty tough. I think that everybody should ban that guy and all of his alts. He has proven time and time. He's doxed me. He's looked me up. He's looked up all the way down to lawsuits that I've had. The guy is a total wretched person. And you would imagine that someone that has such alleged high success in life and is a conceivable a professional, which is why someone like Tommy Boy Studios has an affinity for him and likes him and keeps him around. He should be banned everywhere. I mean, enough what he did to NTF, the things that he did to Juniper, the things that he continues to harass Cam about, whether you like Cam or don't like Cam. What him and his plotting and planning did is like the worst of the worst, the worst of the worst. And, uh, you know, even though one of the things that I listened to and kind of changed my opinion about Edward a lot back in the day was his phone call that he recorded with Ed's wife. I mean, look, I mean, in the end, that was presented a terrible picture of Edward as a husband and a father. It changed my opinion of him to me. Without even any details coming out later on, I lost a lot of respect at that point, at that moment, because of that. But in the end, good guy's the one that picked up the phone and recorded that and blasted it out and then gave it to Vic and all these other people to use. Um, and again, for a guy that has so much to lose, that has somewhat of a business sense, for him to be so openly, brazenly harming people, using the internet as his foil and using people's lives as his plaything, uh, he is one that needs to go and go forever. And I have never, I mean, that's why it was so odd to me that like NTF had him in her channel for a while. It is crazy to me that the guy, after what he did to her specifically, and he's chatting it
It,
up
it's
like
because
in,
he was. It's because he was blackmailing her to be in there.
well, whatever the circumstances, which is not surprising. I mean, the guy is a total nasty scumbag. And if you have any ounce of respect for him, like some might, because he's got a few extra bucks or is a conceivable professional, you need to check yourself and your own principles. that I don't give a fuck if he had $1 billion. What he did around here is truly disgusting, and he should be homeless under a bridge, injecting himself with a needle and boofing himself. That's the kind of character I think he is, and that's how he should be treated.
Well, I think he does boof himself, but yeah, I haven't been real involved in any of that, but
Well,
I'm starting to. I'm getting my. Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but
well, I'd seen you had posted something, and people have. I don't know exactly what's going on behind the
yeah,
scenes. People know far
yeah.
more than me, but he's starting up his shit again, and doing some shit. From what what I can read between the lines, no one is exactly explicitly saying anything, which is typical of this place, which is fine. I'm not invested as I once was, thank God. But you can
Well,
tell that
here, look, the stuff that I've been working on for a while. There are things that have come up in Good Guy's life recently. He doesn't know I was behind it. It doesn't matter now whether he does or not. Um, but there's more stuff that's that it's really up to him. It really would be in his best interest to have a chat with me before I go with what I got. And I have not shared my plan with little bits and pieces of it, because I kind of had to. But when I'm working on something real like this, I don't involve anybody that I don't have to, because that's how shit gets fucked up. Um,
well, and I will tell you that as someone that actually had to answer to some things, when you have a state license issued by a governing body and allegations come in, whether true or not, whether malicious or not, whether complete fabricated lies or not, as someone that has, because of my involvement in this community and other things, not just this community, but when you have a state issued license of some sort and you're regulated by some professional licensing organization in your state or the federal government, any
mhm.
complaint that comes in has to be investigated, has to be answered to some degree. Now, a lot of it, is handled very quickly, but some of it does delve into scrutiny that brings you more oversight that is headaches. So, it's things that I have gone through. And, no matter if they're truth or complete fabrications, if you have a state issued license and you have your personal information out there, be prepared, like I had to be prepared to have stuff being submitted that is completely fabricated or true, and for things that you do outside of your professional occupation for that license when you sign up. And that's something you alluded to in your community post. And I can tell you from my own experience that your activities outside of your license can be reported and can be investigated and will be
Yes.
investigated.
Yep.
And whether or not you and how do I know? Because it's happened to me. So all of it was malicious,
Yeah.
all of it was false in my case, but I had to answer to it, and I had to open up some things that I otherwise normally would not have to open up to. So, uh, it's
Yeah.
crazy that, go
I've
ahead. You
had
know where I'm
three
saying.
separate licenses from the Indiana Department of Insurance, and I've looked at Illinois' laws where he's at, and they're very, very similar, and they're very clear that if you're an asshole, I didn't say it, I'm ad-libbing, but if you're an asshole, even though it has nothing to do with your job, they can still pull your license because
Because
of it.
there's a standard and ethics clause. There's
Yeah,
also some other items as far as the disclosures that you have to make and the things that you have to um, allegation. Obviously, if you commit a crime, you have to report that. But also, other things are required reporting, and they have the ability to investigate almost anything in your life. To be honest, the
yeah.
law doesn't really
It doesn't have to be a it doesn't really even
correct.
have to be a crime, and it
No,
doesn't have
no,
to
it
be
does
anything you've
not.
been
No,
charged with.
correct. No, that's what I'm saying. That some things require you to report, but in general, the governing body, can almost investigate you for whatever it is, whether you're a doctor, whether it's the bar association, the real estate board, cosmetology licensees, the property appraisers. the building inspector, contractors, licensed contractors, general contractors, literally the governing agency that oversees you, and I've found this out, can literally investigate you for anything for violations of something, right?
Yep.
And again, not criminal. It's all civil. So anyway, nothing to do,
Yeah.
but
When
him having his own license, you know, and being a professional allegedly. That's why I don't conduct myself, not just because I have some sort of principles and ethics, but the fact that anything you say or do, once you've been doxxed, and you're a professional and a licensee, can be used against you. So, and it
yeah.
has for me in my case. So, anyway.
Yeah.
So
I got nothing to lose because I don't maintain those licenses anymore. So.
yeah. But anyway, for him to still be being
Uh,
platformed and the stuff that he did, he alone on me, he doxed a bunch of my stuff. He looked up all my stuff.
yeah.
So, fuck him. I got to run, but I'm going to leave you in good hands with Vic's Holiday Challenge.
All right.
On
Thanks
a
for hopping
boat.
up.
On a boat that looks like it's been.
This
What
is
is
the
that?
scooter that I
Uh,
found on the side of the road. I took
That's
it
some
apart. I
scrap.
got it cranked up. It'll crank up. It'll run. It only has 500 miles on it,
wow,
but
Vic.
it was
Wow.
Just
cracked
when
on the
I
side of the
think
road.
you couldn't, just when I think you couldn't get any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem
Harry!
yourself.
But see,
Harry! Well,
I had to
Vic, it's
put a
good.
new one of these on. These are like the little clutches.
That's a rocket.
The
Well, I'm
belt
going to
was
leave you
broken,
good.
so I had to take these off.
I had a meeting at 5:30. I had to run, Bill. But Vic, good to see you. Hope you're well, sir. Keep on keeping on. So thanks, Bill, for letting
All
me up.
right. That there's a starter Bendix.
Yep. Man, I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some riding on this. And
You better
I
bring
ran it
extra gloves.
and everything. It's not, huh?
You better bring extra gloves.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have gloves and everything. I'm gonna have a new handlebars on it and all. And I'm gonna have another gas tank down here. This is like 1.2 gallons, and I'm gonna have like another 1.2 gallons down here in the bottom. And I'll have
You
enough
ought to be able to
place
get.
to put all my supplies that I need, like my tools. They got to be close to the bottom also.
You ought to be able to get 50 miles to the gallon on that hog.
Oh, I can get like 80 miles to a gallon. All I have
Hmm.
to do is take this off and pull the needle out, and there's like little circlips that go around these little ridges on the top of the needle. And either go, I think I have to go down one, so that way when I need gas, when the needle comes up, more gas can go into the carburetor.
Yeah.
But these guys, whoever had it, they wrecked it in the brake thing like this right here, and it has like the lights and everything on it, and the lights didn't work. So I just took all that off. I'm gonna worry about that later. But the power comes out of the stator, and when it comes out of the stator, it goes to this little. I took it off, but it goes down here. Oh, no, here it is. It goes to this here, and this tells the engine when to spark. And it also on this side here, it has a kill switch. I flip this off, the engine stops. But I had to flip it on for me to jump it off right here, going across these two with the screwdriver, it'll crank up.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you jump to
but it
solenoid?
won't crank up when I'm trying to kickstart it. But
Well,
all the
well,
vacuum
I guess you
hoses,
really
I'm gonna
can't.
find out where they all go.
Can you push it and pop it into gear and make it start?
No. Well, if you're going downhill, probably so. But I really doubt it because of this thing here operates on centrifugal force. The belt will be riding like real low here and real high here, and you'll be going, a good 30 miles an hour. And then when you're stopping, one size will get bigger up here while it gets smaller down here, and vice versa. It has to do with the ratio, but they have not bearings, but little rollers in here, like 6 rollers. And when it goes around that weight, centrifugal force pushes it this way, so the belt drops slower.
Yeah.
And the same, with back here, there's a spring right there. I don't know if you can see the spring that runs down here. That makes this open and close. I mean, I could take my hand here and pull this thing and move it, but the belt rides between these two here. But when it's going real fast, all this pushes out, and this part in here opens up, while this part here tightens up and it gets bigger here. Or it works one of the two ways, but it's
Yeah.
centrifugal force. But since it's all dark here, all that black stuff, I'm gonna clean that out once I get these gears out, or these clutches actually. Once I get them out, I'm gonna clean it out and put whole new clutches in and everything. And they weigh the rollers, is what they call it. They weigh them out, you know. And if one's a little bit bigger, they sand it down to where they, it's like weighting ground.
Yeah. I used to. I had mini bikes and all kinds of stuff when I was a kid. It's been a long time since I've seen one like that, though.
Well, this is the first time I had, something similar to this. So I thought, well, yeah, I can work on this. I know about how to do it. I mean, even taking the engine off, putting a whole new engine on, even taking the tire off. I've looked all that up, and it's very simple to fix one of these
Yeah.
if they ever break down on the road. You just got to remember, change your oil and make sure you tighten everything up, because riding it, shit comes unloose.
Well, I would get you some Loctite. That'll help.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, man, this is a good
And
find.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
500 miles on it, and it cranks right up. A few little things on it. I probably spend a couple $100 on it, and I could probably ride it a good 1,000 miles.
What I can't tell what brand is that, you know?
Uh, shoot. It's let's see. I don't know if you can see this here. I think it just quit working. It's a Jiajue.
Jew? It's a Jew bike?
I guess a Jaju, Jiajue, Jaju.
Hmm. Interesting.
But yeah, it's a
Back in
Japanese
the like
bike.
the 60s through the 80s, they imported so many different freaking mini bikes from Japan and China, and yeah, there was just they were all basically the same, but yeah, like
Right, I
the
think this
60s
is
through
a
the 80s, they
2020.
imported Really?
The one I have is a 2020, so it's only 5 years old. I
Well, they
had the
haven't changed
serial
very
number
much
and
since the '80s.
everything. Yeah, 220. It's a GY6 motor, is what they call it.
The sprockets and everything, they look identical to the ones I had when I was a kid.
Right. But there's a gear that's in the transmission. I have to take the thing apart a little bit deeper and pull out these two gears, and one of them's press fitted in the other. And I'm like, I don't have any kind of press to push that in there. And I got to thinking, well, in the worst case, you heat one part up and you put the other one in the coldest place you can find and hope you can, press it together that way. But
Yeah. Do you have
I'm
a
not
do you
going to
have a
worry about
vise?
that. Huh?
Do you have a vise that you could use like a couple blocks of wood to?
I don't have any kind of vice. I have C clamps, but
Okay.
that's really not going to help.
That
But I mean,
I don't.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to ride it around here in town and, ride about 5 hours and, do live streams. I got to get my watch hours up. You know what I'm saying? Get my watch hours up and ride around
Yeah.
town. I have a plan that, well, I'll tell you
Well,
a little bit later about it. But,
if you don't know, for as far as your watch hours go, the hours that you actually spend live don't count towards that. So running a big long stream isn't really going to
uh
help you. Yeah, what counts is the people that watch it after it's live. That's what counts towards your watch hours. That's like people that stay live for 12 hours at a time to build their watch hours. They're not really helping themselves because nobody's going to go back later and watch a fucking 12-hour stream. You know,
right.
um, I'm just
Well, I've watched
letting you know.
now. I have so many haters. I think that the haters will help me on this.
Oh
That
yeah, 100%.
if I go, say, I've gone live like 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, 4, 3, 5 in the morning, and I'll at least have 20 haters watching me at any given time.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll log off and log back in. They'll leave for a little while and then they'll come back. And I'm like, wow, I live in their mind rent free. I'll give them some real content.
Well, yeah, YouTube doesn't differentiate between hate watchers and people that watch because they enjoy it.
Right.
It's something else is people like to click the thumbs down or whatever because they really think they're doing something, but a thumbs down as far as the algorithm goes, a thumbs down counts as much as a thumbs up because it shows engagement. Whereas if you don't hit anything at all, then that's really the worst thing you could do is to not press anything.
Right. But even you can click out, you can watch it for like 15 minutes, click out, and then click back and watch another 15 minutes. Well, that's going to be 2 views right there.
Yeah,
So if they
yeah.
leave watching it and they come back, but there's going to be people that's going to be recording the whole thing. We know who they are, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I found an organ on the side of the road. And,
An organ, like a church organ, or like a
huh?
penis, like
Well,
a
kind of,
church
sort. Well,
organ, or
not
like a penis.
a keyboard. Keyboard.
Oh, I got you.
A keyboard. And I'm like, okay, this is the inside, and these are the little diodes here. And when you mash the keys down, you mash these little things here that make connection under it. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, I looked at the connections under these little tabs here, and all of them are fine. It just had a bunch of dust and shit like this right here that was up under one of the keys. So I cleaned it out and I'm gonna put it back together. And but this right here, let me show you something that's really interesting. Let me put this right here for a minute.
If it's a severed head, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Huh?
I said if it's a
Now,
severed
up
head,
under
I'm going to be
here
pretty upset.
has lead. All of this is lead. This whole
Hmm.
apparatus here weighs like 100 pounds, and it's heavy as shit. But it
Yeah.
helps when you do your keys. It acts totally different. But right in here are the little. You can see that thing moving in and out. That's what pushes them little metal things together that I was showing you. The circuitry mounts on the back of this. I had to put this up, connect it back together to see if the organ works. The whole thing worked except for one note. Now this is an old one. This here is a Kimball. I took the guts out of this one here, and I'm gonna use it for an amplifier. I mean, it was an old one, and you know what these little things are, don't you?
Foot pedal.
They're an amplifier, just like a reverb. Their little springs do like that when you
Oh, yeah,
kick
yeah.
the
Okay.
amp. Okay, well
Yeah.
that come out of this organ. Well, I'm gonna use this here for my amp. But
You
with
should
this one
you
here,
should mount the smaller one on your. You should mount the smaller one on your mini bike.
what the
And just be a
keyboard?
traveling. Yeah.
No, I can't do that. I'm gonna have a GPS and also stereo and for my phone. I'm gonna have an auxiliary battery, but I have to have there's something you put between an isolator. You have to put an isolator so that way if one battery drains down, it don't drain the other ones down. Uh, but you have to have a fuse in between that too. But yeah, this thing here, it took two people to move this thing in. Right now, it's really light, but all the caps, all these little black things here, they're all good. None of those have been burned up, and that's usually in a circuit. You want to check those first, and then sometimes you can check these IC chips, but they don't really go bad that often. I don't think. I think that's what you call an OP amp. I
I
collect
can't
those.
really see. You got like a shit ton of resistors in there though.
Yeah, a lot of resistors, capacitors, diodes. These ones here, these little round things, those are diodes. And I'm going to have to figure out how to test them in circuit or do you have to desolder it and test it. But I'm going to put it back together and see if all the notes work because last time one of the black notes didn't work when I was mashing it. And like I said, it had a bunch of this trash and stuff all up under there, behind the keys and everything. So I'm gonna blow it
Yeah.
out, get
Once you
it
get all
all
the
cleaned out, put it back together, and see if I can play music on it.
yeah. Well, I mean, once you get all the dust blown out, and if anything's corroded, a little bit of sandpaper should be
Right.
good to go.
Well, I'm gonna check this out. Now you was talking about church organs. Now Hammond makes a very, very nice one, even Kimball. And I have schematics for some of those. I'm gonna take an old keyboard, like this here that has all them little fancy little knobs. All of these things here were hand wired, hand wired. Now the circuits wasn't hand done, but the wiring, where they wrap the wire around the post, all that's hand done. I'm gonna get one of those and take it apart, and then like all the circuits behind them old organs, that's why they weigh 300 pounds because they have a shitload of circuits like this here all throughout the whole thing, and hang all the circuits on my wall but yet have the keyboard where it operates. You can see what's inside the organ as it's operating.
Oh, that'll be cool.
but you can't get money. People think, oh well, I can get $1,000 for this. No, there's not many people's going to pay that. Now, if they redone all the caps like these things here, these round capacitors, if they redone all of those, then maybe there's some value in it. But if it's the old capacitors, there's no value. And it's usually the first thing that goes wrong is capacitors or these type of transistors on a power supply. This is from a power supply. It's a rectifier also. The power comes in and then it rectifies everything to where it makes AC or DC power.
Yeah.
And it's either a negative DC power or a positive DC power. See, I don't have the schematics for it, so I'm not really going to tinker with it too much. I mean, it's a find, and it worked except for that one note. Yeah, I had to make sure I put this ground here back on. There's the ground that messed up.
Yeah, I mean, people trash stuff. I mean, somebody just threw it out on the side of the road because they just didn't know how to fix that one thing.
Right.
And it,
Well,
like,
I myself, I like.
it costs quite a bit to have something like that fixed. So sometimes people just don't think it's worth it.
Right. Well, I like old stuff, and I remember some of the old organs. Like these old ones back in the '70s, where it was like everything went state, solid state.
Yeah, but I don't care what anybody says. The solid state stuff, just like it, like they really can't match the sound of a good old analog system. Is it
Right. Well,
like the
the
reverb's never
tubes.
the same? And
Right. Well, the tubes I think is a lot better than solid state. Now, solid state's okay,
oh
but
yeah, yeah. Oh no, the tube
tube
stuff
bounce.
definitely sounds. Yeah,
You see, some of these organs have tube bounce. It's tube bounce, and the tube bounce. One of the organs has is what they call stereo. It's 2 amps into one organ.
yeah. My mom has 3 pianos, and I don't know how many freaking keyboards laying around. I don't. I tried to talk her into getting rid of some of it, but
Well, I'm gonna, next week I'm gonna go talk to some people and tell them, yeah, I'll take the organ. It's free, but I want to come start taking it apart. I will take it apart in pieces. And one of the guys told me to bring aluminum foil.
yeah.
Somebody.
All right, man. I wanted to get back on topic. Did you have anything to say about what we were talking about?
All righty.
Did you have anything you wanted to say about what we were talking about? Oh, all right. I guess he's gone. Oh, fuck. Oh, that got derailed. Oh, yeah. Vic's organ is definitely old. Oh, shit. Gen A, shots fired. What's going on, Dead Twist? My sergeant at arms. I know I saw a bunch of you pull up here. I didn't say hello to. I didn't want to interrupt. Hey, what's up, Dominique? I'll say hello to you, though. Nah, nobody's. I don't think anybody was trying to deflect for Jonathan. That wasn't the point. What's up, Jen A? I don't think I saw anybody defending Jonathan. I just wanted to get because the shit popped off last night, and he started running his mouth. And out of respect for the person whose panel it was, I just left and decided to say my piece on my own channel. I'm sure there was more I was going to say about it, but I forgot. I think I said enough, though. Y'all seem to remember more than I do. Like sometimes people's memories just need a little jogging, is all. Man, I saw a lot of good comments earlier that I really wanted to respond to, but I don't. I'm not scrolling that far back. And now Nanya welcomes a good guy. See that's the thing. That's part of my argument is we've been saying they got all the weirdos over there, but how can we continue to say that when Jonathan is allowed to prowl around here? You know what I mean? It hurts our argument a little bit. They can fucking have him over there. That's why I don't understand why people are so upset that Savvy's hanging. I mean, I understand, yeah, they were calling her scabby and a linebacker and whatever else for however long. And the only reason she's hanging out there is because she burned all of her bridges here. We don't want her here anymore. She's really got no place else to go. And as we've seen, they'll take anybody. What is up, Dr. Mortician? You missed the high energy stuff. As far as I'm concerned, Savvy's exactly where she needs to be. And I realize there's people. I see you. You're not chatting, but I see you sitting there. I've seen you be buddy with Jonathan, and that's okay. I'm not saying that you can't be civil to somebody. I'm just saying after all of the shit that he's pulled, like how can you believe anything he says? And I know he's in some of your DMs. Fucking, I promise you, he's lying to you about something. He's probably in your DMs right now. Actually, in fact, I know he is. Thank you for that. Trying to save face and preserve what's left of himself. What is going on, Sea Monkey Jeff? Yeah, I there are a lot of short memories here. And sometimes I think people just choose to forget things because it's convenient. Well, I ain't built that way. Hey, what is up, Michelle? You know, I don't think it's gonna work, but I mean, think back of all the people you used to see around in the chats that are just gone now, and this kind of shit is why. I would kind of, I don't know. See, I still talk to some of them, and I don't see most of them coming back, but I would, I would kind of like to see it not necessarily get back to the way it was, but at least have. We either need to stop saying that we're here about the pred catching community, or we need to make it more like we are, because this shit bears no resemblance to it. I mean, 4 years ago, we wouldn't have tolerated half of these people. I guess you kind of see where people's priorities lie, and that's another thing is I don't. Some of the people that we're warring with, and I kind of taken a backseat to it the last few years, but there's a couple things I'm inserting myself into right now. Um, like I don't really think that some of y'all really want these people gone because then we got nothing to talk about. So I think some of the so-called half-hearted attempts at getting rid of people, yeah, I just think it's all bullshit. Yeah, no shit, that twist. That is a fact. See, that's the thing, Dr. Mortician, is like the real movement is carrying on just fine. And at one time, this stuff over here really was a part of that, but it really just isn't anymore. I mean, you don't see any non-grifting catchers. The only catchers that hang out here are the fucking grifters, and I think it's sad to be honest. But the squirrel, damn it, Jeff, you knew exactly how to derail me. Guns, bombs, boobs, squirrel, drugs, fire. Yeah, I mean, I can talk about guns, boobs, bombs, drugs, fire. Not so much cats. I'm not really a cat fan. Um, I do enjoy building them. I still say it was original intent of these places. Yeah, I mean, originally that was originally. I mean, Locksmith was the first one to kind of have a fringe break off channel, however you want to say it. And originally, the idea was to give people a place to go and hash things out without doing it in a catcher's chat. And like I knew it was going to wind up exactly like this. which is why I didn't start a channel until, yeah, this is pretty much exactly how I knew it was going to come out. But it did, it did its original intent. I mean, yeah. Uh, I don't know about that. The baby that little Tard found, I only saw it the one time that I took the video. That's the only time I've seen that kitten. I have no clue what happened to it. I don't know where she got it. I don't know if it might have came from the neighbors like the last ones. I don't know if she took it back. I really have no idea. That's the only time I've seen it. It might have got ate by a coyote. I don't know. I really could use some cocaine. Yeah, Jenny, that's no shit either. Little Tart has kidnapped kittens from the neighbors. We found out. I found all them fucking cats out at my parents' house. They're, I guess some of them are going back and forth from the neighbors, so the neighbors they can keep them. Um, but as far as the neighbors are concerned, they're their cats, and as far as my parents are concerned, they're theirs. So they're. I don't know. Yeah, I just it's always snowing in Cali. Yeah, I would like to make it out west one more time. It's blocked. I can't see it. All right, last chance if anybody wants to. I would rather hear your opinions on the original point because I forgot what the hell I was talking about. This will be the last call for the link should be pinned. Well, I don't know about Savior Kitty. She's more of a kidnapper. She can't even take care of herself. Or Jenny, you could wear some clothes while you're sitting on it. I'm just saying. Oh shit! 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. You don't want to hear this. All right, sorry about that. Who we have here? No, dude, I'm not letting you up. All right, yo, I'm bored. I don't know who's going live later. You all have a lot of opinions. I mean, I get it. I know why you don't want to say it in the chat. I get it. And that's okay, but I just wish you would say it where other people could see it. I mean, I understand why, but it would help my cause if you would say the stuff publicly that you're telling me privately. If anybody's got something to say about your opinion, fuck them. Yeah, helicopter. I think. All right, yo. I think I've been sober for too many consecutive days. I think I'm gonna go change that. Y'all stay weird. Oh, when I say weird, I don't mean like Jonathan weird. I mean like the cool kind of weird. All right, later.